Hello, Sagittarius. Welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor, and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. So, Sagittarius, every reading I pull a card before I start, just to kind of get it's like a vibe check, right? Just to kind of see what's going on, what's the atmosphere like. Now, today we have the adjustment card. Okay, this is obviously Libra, right? We have the scales, and also looks very judicial, right? You can see kind of almost this very brutalist kind of look to the card, very sterile and kind of hard, right? But it's beautiful. It's so beautiful. And it's all about, yes, the choices that we're making in life and the consequences, right? The outcomes, the things that follow us, including our karmic responsibility. So we're going to see what this has to do with our tea leaves. And we're just going to twirl this bowl around real quick. I'm just gonna, okay. And we'll take a look here. And so I also want to say thank you for clicking on the reading. It is always such an honor to be able to bring these messages. If you're new to the channel, welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope you stay and kind of see how we read tea leaves here. And if you're returning, welcome back. All right, so I want to start right here because we have this face, we have these palm trees, we have two, it looks like a pillar that has people kind of walking up to the top, if you can see. It looks like we have a person here, we have a person here, we have a person right up here, one right there, one right there. So we have all these people and they're kind of like ascending up here, okay? Now, it looks like we also have a teacup, a skull, a heart, and a rose. The rose represents the mystery being revealed. And the heart, of course, is all about the heart of the matter. Or if you could think of like the Sacred Heart in Catholicism, this is the image of a heart that has the flames coming out of the top. And this symbolizes agape, right? What is agape? Agape is our belovedness with God or goddess or the divine or, you know, something bigger than ourselves. And so that heart, we have the revealing of the mystery. We have the heart, which is the love that we have, right, with the divine. Now we also have the skull. The skull doesn't necessarily represent death in the material, like our physical forms, but it does kind of hang around as a reminder, right? The memento mori. And this is all about reminding us, yes, we're alive. Hopefully we're feeling pretty good. We're doing the things that we want to do. We're getting through this, you know, labyrinth that life really is. And yet we must remember that death is always just around the corner, right? And that's not to scare anybody. That's not to make life depressing or you know, bleak or anything like that. It's not nihilistic necessarily, but what it is kind of a reminder, enjoy what's going on in, you know, in your life, in the world. Get out there and do some wonderful and beautiful things. Follow your heart, go exploring, live in awe as much as you can because it's not forever. And in fact, the hour is late. It's later than we even know. Now, we also have the teacup, and of course, we're doing a tea leaf reading. So that feels on brand, right? Now, over here we have, it looks like a person holding an offering. You can see here's like at the plate or whatever it is. Here's the head of the person. They're kind of like stooped forward. We also have this beautiful face right here. Here are the eyes, the nose, the mouth, and we have palm trees. So I feel like this is probably a feminine energy. We also have the number 51 or SIC, okay, which is also yes. I definitely feel kind of a desert vibe. Now that's the palm trees, of course. Maybe this is a place you're dreaming of going, kind of that oasis out in the desert. I'm thinking of like, you know, I don't know, like Joshua Tree or Palm Springs or, you know, somewhere like this. But it could be anywhere. Okay. Now, the desert represents the wilderness. And this is used heavily with like the saints, and even Jesus himself. We know he disappeared out into the wilderness for quite a few years that are unaccounted for, right? And what does that mean? What was he doing? Well, I don't know for sure, but this often represents in stories, mythologies, allegories, the time that somebody goes out there to work on themselves, to do that interior work, to be with the divine, right? To live probably in isolation, maybe going to different schools. There's, you know, there's some talk that Jesus, as a historical person, maybe was in the Middle East and, you know, visiting these different established schools and institutes to study with the Magi, but nobody knows for sure, of course. But we're looking at it symbolically. So I feel like there's this calling. You're being called out into the desert. And I feel like this is all about kind of breaking through some of the old ways of thinking, of existing, of doing things, okay? I feel like you're just at this point where it's like the world feels insane, right? Absurd, and really like just so much nonsense happening, right? Everybody's mad, everybody's scared. People are fighting again, you know, just arguing and falling out with each other and so on and so forth. And you're just standing here kind of like, I just want to get away from all of this noise, at least for a little while. Okay? So I feel you really beginning to consider, how will you embark on this journey? Right? And this really is a spiritual journey. I don't know if this is the beginning of your spiritual work or if this is kind of, you are coming back into the fold, right? And so I feel like so much is changing so quickly for you. And that beautiful face, I just want to say, this really reminds me so much of that kind of archetypal, you know, mother goddess, right? She's talked about a lot, and for some reason I'm thinking of her in this light right now, as being the consciousness, or being one of the consciousnesses in stuff like ayahuasca, right? That in plant medicine. Now, every plant has a different vibe and a different, you know, kind of a different intelligence or race of intelligences kind of within, right? But for some reason, that particular, I don't even know if I'm allowed to say DMT, but I'm going to anyways, right? Has this very earth mother energy. And that's really what it reminds me of. Now, I'm not saying that you're using plant medicine. I'm not saying that that's even something you've ever thought of doing. I'm just relating because, you know, in my younger years, I partook in a lot of different things. And I've met her more than once. So, yeah. And she's a beautiful guiding force. Let me just tell you, this is, you know, for me, I had to do a lot of deep mother wound work. And I still continuing to do so. And particularly this manifestation of the divine feminine consciousness is so inviting and loving. Just so nurturing. This, I still, and I think, I really do, I think and talk about her like she is a person that I've met, that I hung out with. And that's what it feels like. I mean, in my heart of hearts, she feels more real than even people that I've known for years, to be honest with you. So, you know, I feel like you are being watched over as you kind of do realign your life. Maybe just a little bit, you know, but I think that there's been something missing, right? That's keeping you feeling like you're out of balance. And I believe that this is a big part of it. The spiritual, the interior, the mysteries of life. You know, I think so often we think of these things as like a luxury to even like think about or spend time with, and it can't be like that. It just can't. You know, we need people to be doing this work because it affects the collective. And, right, you know, it's raising the energy, the frequency of humanity. And I do believe that 100%. And so doing the work is so important. Now, we have a horse right here. You can see here's the head. Here's the body. We have a person riding on the horse. And it looks to me like we're coming to meet somebody in the desert. This even kind of looks like one of those tall plateau kind of mountain things that they have in, I don't know, New Mexico and Arizona. In the background. Okay, so I feel like we're in the desert still here. But I feel like there's somebody who you are going to meet with. I don't know if this is a real human being or if this is somebody you kind of start to interact with in your interior work. It could be through meditation, through active imagination, or dream work as well. But I do feel like this is kind of a person and intelligence that is showing itself as almost like a knight wearing lots of armor. And I feel like part of the work here is about learning to really take up for yourself. And I think that's, you know, I feel like not that you're a pushover, not that you're unable to kind of take care of yourself, but I feel like there are times when you just kind of let people do and say whatever they're going to do and say, right? How they're going to behave because you don't like the conflict. Right? And I understand that. I get into that mode. But I feel like for you, part of the work is learning to stand up for yourself a little bit more and learning to say no. That's the big thing for you Sagittarius people. I love you dearly. I have some wonderful Sagittarius, especially women in my life, but not always good at saying no. Not always good at, like, I don't have time for that. I wish I could help. You know, I have this other thing going on. No, you're like usually the person that will figure out how you can get like 4 different events in one day. You're just like in and out from each thing, trying to do as much as you can. And you could say, no, I can't. I have other stuff going on, right? But you don't like to let people down, and you don't want to, go back on your word. And I admire that. But I also know it's like a straight shot to burnout. So I feel like in this time, it's really about learning to, advocate for yourself, to prioritize yourself, to make sure that, you're not doing things you don't want to do, or you can't do, you don't have time to do. So that's a big thing. I think that's a really big key here. Now we also have a rooster. So this is kind of like a warning. There's an alarm going off with this rooster, right? They like to cock-a-doodle-doo and wake up the whole neighborhood. And I'm trying to see what this says. It looks like it's image. IMAGE, image. So, and we have the rabbit beneath the moon. So kind of a illusion, delusion. I don't know. I feel like this is, I don't like talking about this kind of stuff. I don't like bringing this kind of news around. I feel like something is going on with somebody else in your life with some kind of imagery. Pictures is what I think. I don't know if this is like you catching somebody out, husband, wife, sending pictures. I don't know, something like that. Or almost kind of wonder if this is a situation with somebody that you love and care about, and they've gotten themselves in some trouble with some images, or maybe somebody's trying to bribe them or blackmail them, or whatever. Like they sent some risque photo or something, and this person's like showing it to everybody, or maybe they're telling the person, I'm going to show this to everybody if you don't, XYZ. It feels so dire, but I feel like it's going to work out. Like it's, when something like this happens, those first moments are just, it's heart-wrenching, right? Feeling out of control, like, you can't just fix this situation immediately. It's something that's going to have to play out a little bit. But I do feel you very much in employing that protectiveness that you're learning. Standing up for yourself, right? Not just like trying to, brush it off or ignore it. I see you getting right in there and taking care of the situation. Okay. Will it be easy? No, but it will work out. Now we have the repeating 3 throughout the cup here. There's 1, 2. So we have 3 as a very important number. Also the uppercase E. So maybe somebody with an E name. Now we're going to take a look over here. We have, it looks like a ship, a boat, full sails. Look at that one, full sails going. We also have a person over here who looks like, I imagine, daydreaming. We also have a dolphin and a bird above the dolphin. So the dolphin's all about psychic ability. The bird is about a message. So I feel like you will be receiving some very profound messages, and this will be in that psychic space. So very much, I think, about intuition, going back to the picture thing. Maybe it's one of those situations where it's like, you do the bad thing and you look in the phone, you know what I'm saying? You're on their computer, you kind of see something that you didn't want to see. It could be. But whatever it is, I feel like with the boat, right? The boat, the ship, especially with the sails up like this means that you are ready to make a change. You're not just thinking about it. You're putting the wheels in motion, right? You are deciding to get on that boat and to depart into the great unknown, basically, which is the future. And I feel like as you break away from whatever the situation is, or it becomes like a thing that you can resolve, you continue to do that interior work. And amazingly, it feels like all of this space in your life opens up and you have the room to start dreaming again. And that's the big thing here. I feel like all of this leads to you having kind of a blank canvas, right? And as scary as all of it, or as heartbreaking as all of it feels and sounds, it ends up leading you to a better place. And I know that's hard. It's hard to see it while all this is happening, but I promise you it's there. All right, now we're going to do 3 lucky numbers. 34, number 34, 53, 53, 83, 83. All right, let's see. Now we have our self-care affirmation cards. I'm going to flip through, stop where it feels right. Dawn of transformation. Today I am reborn. This is the dawn of my transformation. This is the dawn of my transformation. All right. Well, Sagittarius, I'm going to go ahead and tell you I love you, because I do. And I thank you so much for spending this time with me. It's always such an honor for me to be able to do these readings with you, for you. And if you want to like, subscribe, or leave a comment, I'd love to hear from you. Other than that, I just want to say again, I love you. Please take care of yourself. We'll talk in a few days from now. Good night.